I'm back, and really want to talk about these games, but they haven't really been relevant for 5 or so years.
Ratchet, we are too late. Ratchet?
Who?
Looks like you'll be worth the money after all, PS5. Ratchet and Clank, the iconic 3D platformer by Insomniac Games all the way back in 2002. My introduction to the franchise was Tools of Destruction that I got with a new PS3 controller. I was a little bit disappointed I got this instead of MotorStorm, but after 20 or so minutes of playtime, I was just instantly hooked. And with the next installment coming out this year, I decided to go back and look at the original Ratchet and Clank games. Most people hold these three as the peak of the series. Well, I personally don't agree with that. I've only played through the original trilogy once, so let's dive into them.
Starting with the first game. The story starts off with this little robot guy being marked as a defected warbot, and after a failed escape attempt, he crash lands on planet Veldon, home to a mechanic named Ratchet. After slaughtering the native wildlife and smashing bots as Crash Bandicoot style, Ratchet makes his way to the little robot. Immediately, this game shows its age with no ability to aim. You've got the throwing wrench, but yeah, it's not very reliable. Also, the voice acting is so jarring to hear. It's like watching the old Simpsons episodes, and none of the voices quite match their modern equivalent.
Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
I'd be careful if I were you. He's got posomorphic blaster cannons in his fingertip.
The robot shows Ratchet what's going on and how some business guy is trying to build a new planet. So with the help of his new buddy he calls Clank, they set off into space. The cutscenes in this game remind me so much of the original Spyro games. Made sense since it's from the same developer, but man, something about them that gives them that Insomniac style. Also, side note, why does the mechanic have a bomb glove? The duo perfectly land in Numbrus, the planet with the best soundtrack. This is where the game shows off its multiple paths, but I never found this feature interesting, since the other paths are always so different and out of the way, it might as well just be different planets. It's a bit like how Galaxy has multiple paths, but it's nothing like Mario 64. The goal of each planet is to find equipment and the infobot to unlock areas in new or existing planets. There's no real gimmicks or uniqueness about this planet, so I'm just gonna move on. Planet Kerwin. Platforming hell for someone with input lag due to the stream. There's this giant obstacle course you must complete in order to get the swing shot, and using my epic gamer skills, I actually managed to do it pretty easily. Until Ratchet decided to wall jump here, putting me back to the start. Cool, made it to the top and... oh. How did a robot get fat?
I would devour courses like that for breakfast!
Bet that's not all.
So I am going to make you pay!
And this is the start of a really weird trend in this game, where you just have to buy everything you want. Also, changing weapons doesn't slow down or pause the game, so if you're stuck in a situation like this, you pretty much just have to take a hit. Got the infobot, found out Chairman was cutting down some trees, off to stop him. Next stop is Eudora, which has another killer soundtrack. Sounds like something from The Sims 2, mixed with Fatboy Slim. Now we got tree cutter enemies, and the wrench actually becomes a gameplay mechanic, turning these bolts and doing stuff. I just noticed how expressionate Ratchet is when jumping. The animations are so good for a PS2 game. This is the part I realized I missed something in Novalis, and I needed it in this planet, so looks like I'm going back. This part is what I mean when I say multiple paths are completely different. Like, this was the first path I took, and this is the second. And when you think about it, this plumber found an SOS message and then sold it to me. Like, he knew what was on that infobot. So anyway, we watched the infobot. This famous guy crash lands, and Ratchet wants to go save him because he wants to be famous. To Planet Ardia, filled with dingodile and the start of the rising tension between Ratchet and Clank. Skidmid Marks, great name by the way, is surrounded by sand sharks. One scuffle later, and me getting frustrated, bolts on auto-collect, we save Skid. We also save his agent, but he wants something, so we might check up on him later. I also got the gadget I needed here, so back to Eudora. Ratchet isn't wearing shoes. Now we got the Trespasser, we can do these little mini games, which I think is quite cool, really changes up the gameplay. What's cooler than minigames though? T-posing.
You need to know about BTS.
No, I'm good. The infobot contains coordinates to a weapons testing facility in space. And since you know space isn't very hospitable, you get to play as Clank, since he's already dead inside. Space still has gravity though, so you gotta be careful. But not too careful, Clank craps himself. And look, it's everyone's favourite part of the first Ratchet and Clank game. The gadget bots. But I'll get into that later. Also, Clank pulls the gun out of his... Yeah, whoops, I forgot gadgets don't auto-equip when you need them. Oh well, I'll just quickly get through this part. Maybe not. Boss fight, oh yeah, I remember these being my favourite part. Oh wait, this game has no lock-on or strafe. Damn it! I feel another death montage. Finally, press the big red shiny button. Yes please. Oh god, what have I done? Same old, grab the infobot and move on to the next planet. Landing in Realgar. Realgar, or Rygar, is filled with these water puzzles where you have to raise and lower the water level to traverse. Also, since I'm playing the PS3 remake, I can still see the oxygen meter when it's not in use. Just thought that was funny. And hey, Ratchet now seems excited about being a hero. Maybe the reboot wasn't too much of a change from the original.
I've been keeping an eye on you. I've never seen anyone with such raw talent. You are a true hero in the making.
Really? You mean I could be famous?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wait, no, he just wants to be famous. Never mind. It's this planet I started to realize how clunky the combat is. Ratchet and Clank is a fast-paced run and gun. I will compare it to something like Doom. The difference is you can actually aim your gun in Doom. To aim your gun in this game, you have to be facing the enemy. And to do that, you have to walk towards them, getting you hit. You can aim, but it's more Resident Evil 4 style, where you can't move while you do it. Harder enemies, like taints or large groups of enemies, are the worst to fight, since you can't quickly move and shoot at the same time. So the only option really is to cheese every fight. Look, I took care of 2 tanks by standing on this grate, just out of range, since the blaster is basically a fully auto sniper. Also, I'm nearly 3 hours in and I haven't gotten any extra health. I'm still stuck at the base 4 hits. The combat system, I think, is the best thing about Ratchet and Clank, but it clearly needs some work in this game. In later games, I found myself using a bunch more weapons to fight, since they're all viable. But in this game, I really only use the blaster, so I can shoot enemies outside their detection range. Or the pyro starter, if there was a large group of smaller enemies. But hey, at least the hoverboard sections are fun. I couldn't really record this section with my input lag, even though it's only minor. Just this mode really requires super quick reflexes. Bam, first try without recording and I won. And man, does this game run so smooth when you aren't recording. Like 60 FPS on a PS2 game. Before you say that was probably the reason why I don't like the combat, I just remember thinking the exact same thing when I first played this game, so no. After a quick stop to pick up this thing in Nadia, we land in Numbrus, where we must complete Quart's gauntlet of random obstacles. Oh cool, there's a Crash Bandicoot bonus platform. Oh. Ah, goddamn, what the hell is this? There's no weapon shop, so I gotta conserve ammo for my blaster. Now it really feels like Resident Evil. This planet isn't actually too hard. The only difficult bit was this part where there's a bunch of sprinklers of death defending these buttons, but with some skilled platforming it's pretty easy. That's the problem with this game. It can range in difficulty so much, but since the platforming is really good, so the platforming challenges are actually fun. But when it's just a room full of 3-hit kill stun locking enemies, it's just not fun when you can't dodge their attacks with a strafe or something. You then enter an area where you deprive fish of water and then kill them. Cool. This is a big section. I'm sure I can just fly over. Oh, and back to the start. Okay, cool. Finally made it. Ooh, bamboozled. Now I gotta kill copyright-free Shrek. After the pretty easy fight, Ratchet is annoyed at Clank for falling for an obvious trap. So now they hate each other, but are forced to work together to achieve their individual goals. The next destination is Battalia, where there's a war going on between Dret's flying spaceships and army of killer robots versus this guy. Of course, I'm betting this guy will win, so let's take his side. Equipped with a rocket launcher Ratchet is very happy about, we set off. On the way, we save this guy who needs 2,000 bolts for a bus, even though in this world you can just take a taxi for free. Other than that, this level's pretty standard, so I'm just gonna move on. Let's go, let's rot the gas bar. Yeah, I hate this planet. I'm not sure I'm missing something, but these bomb enemies just stick to you unless you manage to hit them 3 times before they explode, which is nearly impossible when there's more than 4 of them, or just hope you're running fast enough to avoid taking damage when they do explode. There's this one area on this planet I got massive slowdown due to me trying to shoot the unfair amount of enemies. Thank the devs, they only put one thing on this planet. Onto the next planet, Planet Auxon. The area is toxic, so you have to traverse this clank. It's a lot like Pitman, but if you lose one bot, which you definitely will if you want to fight the enemies, you have to run all the way back to where you originally found them, and bring them all the way back to where you lost them. Puzzles aren't even clever. This one, I just stand on a button and tell them to follow me through the door. Why not just have a corridor? This maze spot, it was awful, since the robots don't keep up with you and they go off camera. That's how I lost nearly all my bots. I wasn't gonna run back and risk losing my last 2 bots, so I had to finish the run with 2 of them, then run back for the other 4, then run back hoping I wouldn't lose more and have to repeat the process a 3rd time. It doesn't matter, I got stun locked and died. Now I gotta wrangle 10 bots again. No, wrangle and Insomniac's neck in them. The mission says I need Gadgebot buddies in order to survive, but all it's helping me with is Clint's cardio, running back and forth all the damn time. Onto Pokitaru, a nice holiday resort which hopefully will be a relaxing break after the last 2 planets. And it is. Look, enemies you can attack! The different fighting arenas actually makes me use different weapons as well, so that's good. There's a cool flying section and then you grab the O2 mask. Hey, it might make the other planet playable now. Back at Auxon, the planet is actually fun. There's a cool feature where all the enemies are sleeping, so you have to sneak around them, but there's these bugs that alert them. Quite interesting. You can just blow them all up though, which is good that that's an option. Oh my god, 6 hours in and I finally got more nanotech. I can get another 3, but it's 30,000 bolts, which if I didn't have to buy every single important story item, I could probably afford. Drek finishes up watching Star Wars and thinks, that's a good idea, and builds a not associated with Disney Death Star. We take inspiration from Martin Hamlet, go to Hoven, and blow up the off-brand Death Star, which luckily doesn't explode when shooting it millions of times, but it's fine. We then find out Drek is about to destroy some city, so off to go stop him. However, Ratchet finds out Clark is in some space station, so he diverts his attention away from the city to go slap him. Navigating the station is pretty fun, and how you gotta shoot down the shield generators, which is so satisfying when you use the rocket launcher. Also, there's this part, well, just before you could sneak around the back. It doesn't seem like you can do that here, so... Huh. Guess that was intentional, maybe? Quark, it's your time to get a big ol' slap. We hop on a jet and shoot him up a bit, and with a final clutch rocket just before I die, we take him down. Ratchet's little distraction, however, led to the city mentioned before being completely destroyed. Ratchet, realizing he'd done goofed, flies off to save the city. Atlantis is next up on the chopping block, and man has the city seen better days. Due to a lightning storm, the gameplay switches things up, not being able to have Clank with you, losing a chunk of Ratchet's moveset. The planet is actually fairly fun still, besides these enemies with absurdly far range and overpowered weapons, and since you basically have to run into them to shoot, it ends up just being better to skip them or kill them immediately when they spawn. The other half of this planet is much better, with the gameplay being another stealth section. You have to stay out of the lights, or just run faster and hope for the best. The ending area to this path though is super janky. Swing shots don't put you on platforms, fall jumps off a ladder, just that sort of thing. Ah, finally! Wait, it's just for a new weapon 100% won't use? Cool. Did I mention sometimes the reward for these paths is give you a bonus gadget or weapon, making the entire process kind of pointless if you just want to finish the game. Next stop is the robot factory on Kuatu, where Clank was made. There's even the warbots Clank was meant to be as an enemy, which is pretty cool. Nothing too exciting with this planet, just more broken Tesla guys and oh, Clank got big. Yeah, suck on this Tesla guys. Ratchet even hops on the back of Clank, like how Clank hops on the back of Ratchet. That's Cool. We find out Drek is attacking Gadgetron's HQ, so we go to stop him. This seems like a pattern. Drek attacks a planet to pad out the game, and then we go stop him, while sometimes backtracking as well, to pad out the game even more. Good thing Kalibo 3 is a visually interesting planet. It feels like some future utopian place or something. Also, Drek sends out these elite troops. Yeah, real elite. Oh yes, more grind rails. I love these sections. I hate these sections. Alright, my reward better be something good. A map that shows where secrets are. The other side has these cool arenas where the camera angle changes, and you fight a bunch of weapon testing bots. Oh no, not more grind railing. Oh, this is just satisfying. Another hoverboard section and bam, first try I won again. We finally get something useful, that being the holo guys. And now we can infiltrate the robot factory. Back to the robot factory and... oh, the holo guys doesn't hide me from all robots. Option B it is. While in robot mode, you can't jump, so in order to platform, you have to change into Ratchet when the warbots aren't looking. Sounds good on paper, and if this was in a later game, it could work really well. Problem is, jumping doesn't take you out of robot mode, so you have to melee, then wait for the animation, jump, navigate the worst quick select in the franchise, and turn back into the robot, or before any warbots see you. Yeah, this section is very long. After what felt like an hour of menu simulator, I made it to the end. Clank gets a message saying, "Good job," which actually holds more meaning later on in the series. Drek then says he's going to blow up Ratchet's planet because it's ruining the view. But this just causes Ratchet's character arc to be complete. Race to Velden's orbit to confront Drek. God damn it, I'm missing a gadget. We fly back to Battalia to help out that general guy, maybe he will give it to us. And we get... a metal detector? We try the other path on Hoven, and hey, it's a hydro pack, let's go. Back to the Velden station, we go through a 2-minute long tunnel you must complete as fast as possible before you get electrocuted. That was very satisfying to control, and a good little challenge. Oh yay, more sneaking in robot form, I love moving 3k's an hour. More flying, doing bombing runs, Battlefront 2 style, and we make our way to Drek's main ship. Drek's ship holds an infobot, where we find Drek is hiding in Velden, the planet they're going to destroy. Sure. Also, I think you're meant to just teleport back to your ship, but I ran through all the ships again, but backwards. Ah, back where we started. Wait, feeling a little parched. Okay, now we're ready. I'm assuming this is going to be one massive fight to the end, so extreme focus is needed. Oh cool, I spawned all the way back at the start. Yeah, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, I don't like the original Ratchet and Clank. I feel like going back to it just makes the game worse. I didn't really have nostalgia for this game to begin with. Like, the first time I played it was in 2018, so I have no real connection to it. Also, I'm basing this game completely on how it holds up in 2021, and honestly, I think it doesn't hold up that well. Hopefully a sequel's better. Surely they would have tightened things up and removed a lot of the padding. And looking at my original rankings, I did enjoy the second one much more. Guess I'll find out next time.